So Blackburn Rovers making just one defeat in the past 4 games as they go on a bit of a run for themselves. And of course today they took on Swansea. Did they get another win? We'll take a little look next. Right, folks, back with you with another match review. This time looking back at Blackburn Rovers' latest match and the Championship up against Swansea, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new to the channel, stop what you're doing, swallow what you're doing, and smash your subscribe button to keep I up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, world football related. We're going to know here under Warruski. That's right, of course, Swansea City, the visitor today, as of course Rovers try to get their season back on bloody track, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, a big shout out to the Patreons. You know who you are, the VIP band of brothers that's going on behind the scenes. I do appreciate that, guys. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about this, boys and girls. I'm talking about this patreon.com/Rovers. We got ourselves a new one quite recently. Michael Collier making it number 26 for the Patreon gang. If you are interested, check it all out. There's a link down in the description. You can go in for as little or as much as you like and join the band of brothers supporting the channel as we try to kick on forward this 2021. But of course, before all that, or after all that, let's get into the deep end. Of course, we'll take a look at the game itself. 1-1 final score at Ewood Park in a game that Rovers, of course, played the better, and we got something out of it for a change. And of course, 1-1 was the final score. Goals from Bradley Dack on the 37th minute. Good goal, a great build-up. I think, to be fair, we were a little bit hard done by not to be more than one goal in front at this point. We had a couple of penalty shouts that were ruled out or disclaimed and all that kind of stuff, and just a couple of rubs of the green that the referee just kind of turned a blind eye towards. But of course, Rovers did get the goal. Tribal with the assist, beautiful little chip, and of course, just strengthening the case that Bradley Dack and Tribal and the like have to stay in this squad. But unfortunately, the lead only lasted a couple of minutes before Andre Ayew converted a penalty after Sam Gallagher was alleged to have tackled a Swansea man in the box, which of course Ayew, who does score against us quite freely, quite regularly, did it again, of course, to make it 1-1 just before the break. I was confident on this one going into the second half, thinking that we could get something out of this, but unfortunately all the chances, all the opportunities, it's just nothing could come of it in a game that we were the better side 100%. There was no questions asked. All Swansea fans, if they were legitimate Swansea fans, were to look at this game and thought that they deserved to get anything out of this game. I think they're going to be lying to you, because to be fair, they were lucky with the penalty. That was the one and only shot on target. Without that, it was dubious to say the very least. But I also thought that we should have had at least two realistic, decent penalty shouts that we were denied, and a couple of free kick opportunities, and some dubious tackles by Swansea. They were lucky to walk away with 11 men on the field. As for the shots, we had 15 shots on the day, 4 of them on target, which is a good return when you compare it to Swansea anyway. Just 10 shots for them, 1 on target. Possession, we'll have a look at that in a minute, of course. Some of the detailed stats, of course. Corners, again, getting better at those. They're getting better at them. Unfortunately, Conor Hoonahane, which was in amongst the starting 11 for Swansea, drew a blank with this. He had a couple of opportunities for set pieces, but unfortunately could not convert. Let's take a look at, of course, the starting 11's kicking all off with the host. It was Blackburn Rovers, pretty much as you were. In fact, it was as you were as the game that took place against Millwall on the weekend. Kaminsky between the sticks, Douglas at left back, Lenihan, Howard Bellis and Costello at back 4 there. Of course, Dack, Tribal and Buckley made up the 3-man midfield. Decent midfield option there as well. Gallagher, Brereton up top alongside Tyrese, who's just a handful. Full of energy, and to be fair, I can't believe he's played the full 90. Absolutely incredible. He looked lost at sea heading towards half time, but stuck with him, and he came out top with the show of the spores. Of course, anyhow, my match rating is coming out. Of course, Kaminsky with a 6. He was pretty much bored. He's bored. He had little to do, but when he was called upon, he did okay. Of course, he had a fingertip to the penalty, and if he'd saved that, he would be walking away with a 10. But as for that, of course, Douglas with a 6. He was okay. He was, it wasn't brilliant, wasn't stellar, but of course, it wasn't dire. We've had some Danny Dyer performances in the past, but fortunately for us, it's been turning over of the leaf here for Rovers. Then was decent in the back alongside Howard Bellis. I think that's the two working forward here. Hopefully, just like Tontonada Abayo, Howard Bellis is following in his footsteps. Unfortunately, he's come in midway through the season. I'm hoping that we can maybe strike a deal and get him back in next season to maybe form a partnership with Lenihan then, because these two, they look composed. They look like they belong together. The Howard Bellis is showing more and more composure as the games go by. I think if we had him for another 6 months after this, or a full season, I think we could really develop him as a player, and he could also add some quality to us. Ranking at right back, I thought he was good. Offered some attacking nous, and again, it just shows that even though I do love Nyambi, he's probably my favourite player. We've got to be big enough, strong enough, brave enough to realise the fact that he's probably going to go. Will he get some money out of him? I hope so. If not, sign the bloody deal. So if he does go, we've got Ranky Castella coming in, and he would do a good job. I don't know if he wants to play at right back, but to be honest with you, I think if he's in this situation at Ewood Park, he'd probably just play anywhere for the shirt, play anywhere for the badge. Of course, Dacarino was good with a 7, Tribal also with a 7, and of course Buckley with an 8. I thought he was phenomenal today, full of tricks, full of composure, and of course a young man. And again, if he can keep on doing this for another couple of seasons, he could become a really good player that we can build a future around, and maybe even he can propel himself into bigger heights as well. Still young, just like the likes of Frankie Costello as well. Gallagher, of course, with a 6, a bit shitty today. Didn't really take any chances, of course, at fault for the penalty, so we're gonna hinder him a little bit for that one. Of course, Tyrese was good, 7, maybe a bit hard done by on him, but of course, if we won, it would have been an 8. And as Brereton also was a little bit lackluster, had a couple of air shots as well, or shots that just didn't really connect. But ultimately, you know, it was a good performance. No one walked away from this pretty shitty, but of course, there are maybe spots that could be tweaked upon if Armstrong is fit and raring to go. Maybe stick Armstrong where Gallagher is, and then have Gallagher on the bench. That's probably my only change. But besides that, yeah, I'd go again. Rinse and repeat. As for Swansea, the Camacho with, of course, Woodman between 6, Gooey. Kabanga, of course, should have been sent off. Norton as well. Bidwell, Grimes, extra over, of course. Fulton and Roberts made up the back 4 there. Hourihane in the middle alongside Ayew and Lowe up top. Decent sort of attacking trio there. Decent team. They work hard, but unfortunately they look pretty shitty at the back, to be honest with you. I thought they were very, very weak. They couldn't really deal with high balls looped in there. They caused a lot of their own problems. And I think if the game would have gone on another 10 minutes, I think we would have walked away with this. Not just 2-1, probably 3-1, because they were that wobbly, and unfortunately we didn't have Armstrong to really expose their frailties. This is, of course, some more stats here. Of course, possession, we had 58.9% compared to their 41.1. We had 73% pass success rate to their 61. Aerial duels were bossed by Rovers, 31 to their 16. Believe it or not, even though we have the Hobbit of Hobbiton in the middle of the field here, of course. Corners 1, we had more of that as well. So yeah, it was another stellar performance from Rovers, and hopefully we can go again against Brentford again. In fact, let's have a look at it. I've got this bit of info here. This is, of course, my Mowbray in video. Of course, I've got my points. Oh, stop the bloody thing here. This is what I'm hoping to achieve from all the games of the rest of the season, just to better last season's performance. Now, we did open up the campaign with a 3-0, with a 1-0 or whatever it was. The result against Millwall, 2-0, what it was, wasn't it? Now, I expected a defeat here. I expected a defeat against Swansea, and that was prior to the Millwall game. I thought, you know what, if there's anything, we're going to win the Millwall game, or we'll probably come crashing back down to earth against Brentford. But we got a point, so we're already 1 point better off than my 1.84 points per game target. So far, so good. If we could keep up the heat and do as the rest of it does, we will be at, I don't know what we'll be at. We'll be up to 65 points, I think, if things go that way. So, yeah, it's positive. It's not great, I'm sure. I think we all would have wanted the 3 points. But in fairness, at kickoff, would we have expected it to be within competing for Swansea for the 3 points at the end of it? I don't think so. So ultimately, I think that's a decent return, despite the bigger option that would have been the 3 points in the end. So let's just take it, like Mowbray says, take the point, put it in the bag, and move on. Let's take a look at the shot graph here. Of course, we had 634 touches to their 486. We had 438 passes to their 298. And of course, this is where the shots took place. Any woodwork hit? No. But yeah, quite a lot of the shots inside the penalty area. Of course, 1 in the 6-yard box, and of course 6 long range bad boys. Look at this long, ambitious effort here from. Are we the orange? Oh yeah, that was that free kick. I barely caught. Of course, we did do a watch along for this one. So if you didn't catch it, you can catch my goal celebration, which was pretty eccentric. So make sure to check that out. Of course, what else? What else did we have? Of course, yeah. If you want to look at the heat maps, you're a heat map man. Of course, Rovers back to normal here. Even though against Millwall we were a bit more like this, but today we're of course back to our best. A lot of possession, which if we have the ball all the time, then Swansea can't score goals. That's the mentality. But also, you know, also looking on the other way, if we have the ball, we're more likely to make mistakes. So, yes, that's that. But, of course, that's just a little bit what I've had to say. What about the gaffer? Tony Mowbray, what have you got for us? Take us away.
Well, I was very frustrated at half-time to go in 1-1, to be honest. I think I've seen the penalty back. Sam just catching, but it's a huge squeal. I think they're both just going for the ball, and it's not a foul. It's not as if he's tackled him and he's gone down. They've both gone for the ball. They've both made contact, but the big squeal, I think, in an empty stadium. I'm not sure the referee knew what he was doing most of the night, to be honest. But anyway, so it was frustrating to go in 1-1. I thought we played pretty well for staff, created plenty of opportunities, threatened their goal. And over the 90 minutes, I thought we deserved to win the football match, and yet unfortunately we didn't. We drew, and we have to put the point in the bag and move on to another tough game on Friday. We'll recover and get ready to go again. You know my thoughts. Sometimes I feel that's why I go and sit at the back of the stand if I have to, because I feel as if my voice in an empty stadium can intimidate referees sometimes, because I'm questioning what they're doing, and I feel as if I can't understand some of the decisions and the logic. It was almost as if it was too early for him to make a big decision, and he's not a top official who's brave enough to do that, and so he just decided again to play on. It was like so really frustrated, but you know my thoughts on officials. I would like to see ex-players who understand football and know football and have actually played the game and been on the grass and know what it's like, but never mind. I thought the performance level, we have to look at that and think that this team are fighting and working hard and trying, and there is so much to be positive about and to get excited about, and yet I understand we haven't, over the last however many games, let's say the last dozen games, we haven't probably won enough football matches, but I thought we deserved to win tonight, but we didn't, so let's put that point in the bag and move on to the next one. Yeah, I think so. I think the team that when we have the ball, we can build through the lines, we can dominate, but we have to have a goal threat. I don't want possession for the sake of possession. I don't want to keep talking about 68%, 70% possession and no shots at goal. I think we threatened the goal today. I think Swansea tried to build. I thought we played on the front foot and pressed them really well. I think Dolan gives us that ability to press the opposition. He never gives in. He keeps running, and it allows us to win the ball back high up the pitch and create chances, and I think that's what we were doing early season, and that's what we're doing now, and I think the team should just take the positives. I look at the team and enjoy it. It's just the sadness of it is that going through that run of them 6 games or whatever it was, where all them points that if we'd have taken 10 points, we'd have been right there, but we didn't take any points, and so it's really frustrating. And yet, was the reasons for it? I think so. I think our central defence got ripped the heart out of it really, and the centre midfield, and we have to accept that it's really difficult because of the fine margins in football, that sometimes you don't win games. Nobody battered us, nobody totally outplayed us. We were getting beat 1-0 or 2-1 because of, I believe, because of the lack of the experience in the team at the time, and yet they're starting to come back and the results are starting to turn. I just said to him in there that, I think you're not far away. He said he's feeling good. I think I'm playing him, starting him a bit deeper and yet pushing him on as we build and he gets into the box. And but I wanted him to get his fitness by working back and becoming half a midfield player, so he has to track back and make tackles and get it wrapped up in the football match. But then in possession he has to go and join, and like he does, stick his body in the way, give it wide, get in the box. And I thought he's doing that really well. And he looked as if he enjoyed the match tonight, and as I say, not just his goal, but he had a few opportunities and was very, very close to getting another goal. It allows us to play an extra forward, basically. It allows us to have more goal threat on the pitch, and with total respect to the likes of Sam and Bez, who've scored goals of recent, they aren't going to score the numbers that Dack can score or Armstrong can score, but it allows us to have an extra goal threat on the pitch, and I think Tyrese has thrown his hat into that ring now that he has to be considered for starting football matches for this team. The challenge is to get the balance of when do you have them all on the pitch, who do you leave out, how do you rotate it. Harvey Elliott you have to throw into that equation as well, and some days you need Sam Gallagher to be a threat physically to the opposition, and other days you need Harvey Elliott to dance around a few people, stick it through someone's legs and slide Armstrong or Dack in. But I think there's plenty of optimism for the team and the football club moving forward, and yet it would have been nice to win tonight, just to build a bit of momentum to go into Friday night against another really good team, and see how we get on at that level again, because that's the challenge for us. I think he's like a one-man pressing machine when he plays central, so if they play 2 centre-halves or 3 centre-halves, it doesn't really matter to him because he just keeps running them down, and they have to play forward early. And Tyrese is a wonderful human being who looks you in the eye and wants to work hard, wants to be involved, wants to be a part of this football club, and I need to keep encouraging him and giving him opportunities. And yet, as I said, when you do have Dack fit, Harvey Elliott fit, Adam Armstrong fit, Ben Brereton fit, Sam Gallagher fit, he has to work really hard as a young boy to make sure he keeps his place in that starting team. I think the future's bright for John. I think, I think, as I keep saying to him, really, don't get upset and you don't play as much. Your career's coming, the future's coming. You're learning every day in training. You're playing with good players, and we know he's a very, very talented boy. That's why he's got a new contract, and the future is bright for John Buckley and for this club with such a talented boy. This boy will play in the Premier League, in my opinion. Now, I hope he helps us get to there at some stage in the future. If not, the phone will be ringing for John. Not now, not next year, but when he's a regular and plays 40 games a season, he'll be dancing around people. He'll be scoring goals. He'll be making goals. He's a highly talented individual, but he is a young guy. People mature at different ages, and John's still a young boy, really, working his way into a man's game. Well, I keep telling him that he won't play if he doesn't go and tackle and put his foot in, and so he's over accentuating that sometimes. If you think back to last season, he got sent off, I think, didn't he, at Forest? Was it? He can put his foot in because he knows that's what he has to do. But John's really all about dancing past people. He's got his upper body movement where he can shimmy really with his upper body and yet dance past people, snake hips. He's a very talented guy and very humble guy. We all looking forward to giving John more game time, and yet it's not about, as I keep saying, it's not about giving John game time. It's about the team trying to win. And if we don't think, if we think Travis or Evans or Holtby or Tribal are more pertinent for this game than they play, and John, you have to sit on the bench and wait to get on, and that's how football is. At this moment, he's in the team and he's doing pretty well.
So let's just take a look at what's been going on social media then, shall we? Kicking it all off with, of course, Lewis Hartley straight off the money there, robbed by the ref. It's as simple as that. Game week, we should have got 3 points after that performance. Very impressed with their youngsters tonight. Buckley has been really good past few games and deserves credit for that. Need to look into the refs in this league. It's embarrassing. It is. Phil Thompson said this, of course, deserved more, but a point, fair enough. I thought the way they played would suit us. For a second time in a week, the team has more balance without Adam Armstrong in it. Big dilemma brewing there, or is it? Of course, he's probably be on his way in the summer. Dan Cooper said this, good result, great performance. Swansea looked bang average and would get dicked every week in the Prem. TJ Cunningham said this, quality performance, just a shame we've been robbed by another wank official. Yes, they should have had a penalty with the handball, but we should have as well. Should have had two, I thought. Andy Peters, not that one, but this one. Can't really complain about that. Unlikely we were going to beat a team who are third in the league, so we're definitely having to take a point at kickoff. There's a positive in there somewhere. Robson Green, not that one, but this one, of course. So unlucky not to take the 3 points, but what a team performance. Buckley and Tribal look brilliant pairing. We'll probably need to freshen it up by Friday, of course, with Travis eager to come back. Maybe Bradley Johnson as well. A decent result. This is Gaz, considering the opposition. I'd have taken a point at 6 p.m. and anyone who says otherwise is a fool, but somewhat disappointed given how well we played. Well done, lads, heading back in the right direction. Amy Prescott said this, great performance. Dolan needs to start every game. He is unplayable indeed. Gary Fishlock said another shocking display by the officials. How can't they not see that was 100% blatant handball in the first half? Indeed. BK85 said that's more of a performance, robbed by another referee, and he has a Welsh name as well, Jonesy, to his mateys. Meanwhile, Carl Wick said this, another great performance. Buckley and Dolan superb. The ref ruined the game, and no way did they deserve a penalty. I think we should have had a penalty of our own at the start of the game. Keep fighting, Jets. We have some great young players in the team. The future looks bright. The future looks Dolan. That's right. Liam, aka the Hotton, said another really good performance. Would have taken a draw before the game, but feel we should have won that one. Starting to look a lot better. Might just avoid relegation now. Matthew Grimshaw said this, well played, Rovers. If only we could have put these performances in earlier, we might have got the bloody playoffs. Indeed. Ricky McGurty said this, great performance that deserved more. Buckley and Dolan superb. And Barno 1289 said, good performance again tonight. Thought Buckley was immense, and shouted to Howard Bellis as well. Second good game for him. And that, my friends, is what's been going on the old socials. Meanwhile, what's been going on elsewhere out in the Championship? Well, to be honest with you, right here, right now, the final whistle is just about to go at Loftus Road, and QPR are cruising for a 1-0 win over Wickham, which will put them up to 12th. 2 points better off than Rovers. Played a game more as well, Rovers. We currently sit in 14th after the point against Swansea. Swansea down at 3rd. Of course, unfortunately, cannot get into top 2, but of course, they got a game in hand. Brentford of course, next for Rovers. Of course, we take them out on Friday, and of course, Luton will be hosting Swansea this Saturday in the early kickoff. And that, my friends, is pretty much all I've got for you today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up. And if you're new, smash your subscribe button. Keep bang up to date with all things Blackburn Rovers related, Championship related, World Football related. We're going to know here under Warruski. That's right, boys and girls. We go again. Brentford, of course, Friday. We'll have a match preview probably. It might be tomorrow, actually. We've got to be quick off the mark and get them out there. But until then, hopefully you enjoy this one. Make sure you bang the subscribe, bang the thumbs up. Check out the links down below. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Patreon if you want to become the latest brother of another mother. Check that sucker out. But until then, though, I'll see you all very soon. Mask up, 6 feet and all that kind of jazz. I'll see you all next time around.